That's good camera.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are talking about powers of attorney. When I helped a client sell their property, um, we explained how it was very important that it is not their property that they're selling, but rather they're representing the person that they're representing, right? In this situation, it was their parents. Having that clear guideline of who the power of attorney is makes the process of selling a property a lot easier. And today, here with us, we have Brent.
Hey, Josh.
Brent, today will
Hi,
be
everybody.
explain to us about powers of attorney. Brent just loves educating people, and so today, we are teaming up to talk about this topic to make sure that you understand the importance of this and what it entails. So yeah, Brent, you want to tell us a little bit about a power of attorney? Tell us a
Absolutely.
little bit about your background, how you got into law.
Happy to. First, I am a lawyer here in Washington State. What we're going to be talking about is purely educational. I am not giving anyone any specific advice. If you have questions for you or your own situation, please contact a legal representative to make sure that your specific details will fall within what the law is. Now, a little bit about myself is I've been an attorney now for 21 years. I'm a proud graduate of the Seattle University School of Law, and um, after a 15-year career litigating and fighting over money with people, I decided to switch my entire practice and become an estate planning and estate administration attorney. And it's really what I love doing. It doesn't even feel like work because I'm helping people out. I'm not fighting every day, even when there's families that have disagreements, helping them see what the law is and why things are the way they are. I have been able to successfully keep all but one of my cases out of litigation in 8 years. And so that's a pretty great track record of just helping people see what it is they need to do. And that really is what brings us to today and the discussion about powers of attorney. And I'll even say that I have had to sell a house using power of attorney for my mom. And it was, many things happen in life that you can't plan for, in the sense of you might have steps in place for what ifs, but you never know what's going to happen and when.
Absolutely.
And a power of attorney is important to understand really just a few fundamental rules. First, the principal. That's the actual person who's creating the document saying, I want to have this person or people serve as my legal agent in fact, or some people just call it power of attorney, to help me with whatever may need done if I can't do it myself. Now, that can't do it doesn't have to be something catastrophic. It could be you're on a wonderful Caribbean cruise and you get stuck in the Bahamas for an extra 2 weeks and you need someone to sign your real estate papers because you've got a tight closing deadline and you just didn't have a fast enough internet connection to be able to do the signing yourself. But it also is situations where things have happened. Maybe it was a stroke or other medical condition where the person that has chosen you is just unable to do anything on themselves and unable to manage their affairs. And you would then be the one who pays all the bills and arranges for all of the financial matters, including selling or buying real estate on their behalf. And that really is the key. As Joshua alluded to, it's not your property when you're acting as a power of attorney. It's the person that has asked you to help them. If I'm selling my mom's house, that wasn't my money. It was still my mom's money. And it went into her bank account. I just happened to be the person that called the real estate agent, that signed all of the documents and helped the transaction go through. And really it can be that simple. And what I would tell you is always deal with the highest person wherever you are. If you're going to a bank, Don't talk to the bank teller. Ask to talk to a manager or a personal banker. They're going to be familiar with these types of documents. And many times they will want to validate or verify that this is still a valid document. In Washington, and again, I'm doing this for my own mother. And when I came to her bank and said, "Hi, I'm my mom's power of attorney. Here's the document," they said, "Great. We have one of our own that basically is protecting the bank that says, to my knowledge, this has not been revoked. I'm still the person. There's no one else doing it." And that helps make sure that really one person at a time is acting as that agent in fact.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it, one of the things, Brent definitely touched on it, is they're limited to that transaction too, or that one situation. I had one where I was actually out of state and I had somebody represent me and I gave them power of attorney, and it was for this transaction only. So they were able to act on my behalf. They check in, make sure, on small details and whatnot, but overall they had the power to sign everything for me. That way I didn't have to be flying back and forth. This definitely helped me a lot, because it not only did it save me time, but it saved me money from flying back and forth, right? So he was limited to just that transaction. Anything outside of that, he had no control over signing anything for me. So it could be very specific situations, or it could be for longer term in a more general sense. So there are different types.
That is a very good, and he just used the right terms: limited power of attorney or the general power of attorney. So the limited power of attorney is, I see it a lot. Clients will ask for it if they're planning a big family vacation. Maybe there is a 50th anniversary, 25th anniversary, and a 10th anniversary where all the families are getting together and taking a cruise, or going to go to Australia, or some big epic time, but they're in the middle of a construction project because with all of the supply chain issues, the house that they were building isn't quite finished before they need to go. And so they are having someone serve as that limited power of attorney, where it's for a fixed project, fixed duration of time. Again, it's however you would want to limit it, from Monday to Friday, or until this house is signed off and given a certificate of occupancy. Either one of those is an example of a limited power of attorney. The general durable power of attorney is what I work with mostly in my estate planning package, and that is planning for the long term. And that's where a lot of people will have their family, siblings, best friends serve as the, hey, we don't know how life is going to go and what's going to end up. And so just in case, you're there and ready to go. There's also a document, and this is, I'm talking to people who might have powers of attorney already, because there has been a real shift in what are called springing powers of attorney. This was done, if you have a power of attorney that's more than 10 years old, you should take a look at it and look for the paragraph that says when this document will become effective. Because there used to be a practice where almost everyone recommended wait for the power of attorney to become effective only upon incapacity. There's a problem, because as I jokingly say, lawyers have ruined everything. Doctors don't like writing a letter saying someone is incapacitated. And if you have a springing power of attorney and it says, if I have a power of attorney that says Joshua will become my power of attorney once a doctor has written a letter saying I'm incapacitated, he cannot do anything on my behalf until that letter has been written. And again, I will tell you, my mother was in the hospital for 28 days and unable to make any decisions, talk coherently to the doctors. And I technically didn't have any authority to go to her bank at that time because I didn't have the letter. And the thing is the doctors in the hospital wouldn't sign a letter, even though they saw her and she was incapacitated. It wasn't until she got discharged to a rehab skilled nursing facility that the doctor there gave us the letter we needed to actually serve as her power of attorney. So for 28 days, all of her expenses were covered by me. And fortunately, with the power of credit cards, we were able to make it work. But we're talking tens of thousands of dollars across multiple credit cards. And my mom had her retirement. She had the money in her bank account to pay me back, but I was waiting to get to the money until I legally could. So if you have a springing power of attorney, you might want to look at your situation and whether it would be appropriate to make that effective immediately. So that way the people that are there to help you don't have to try and chase down a medical provider that's going to be reticent of and fearful of putting their name on a letter saying this person is incapacitated.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, and to that effect, is it also possible to have maybe multiple powers of attorney for different sections of someone's estate?
Absolutely. And that is, again, this goes into that limiting of what you wanted. So if you have someone, well, first let me back up and say a power of attorney is only valid while the principal is alive. The minute someone has passed away, the powers of attorney are no longer valid at all. So somebody has to be alive with a heartbeat, even if it's on a machine, for power of attorney to be happening. But you can absolutely have somebody making medical decisions. You can have someone doing your financial. You can authorize someone, again, with a limited power of attorney. I want Joshua to handle all of my real estate, but I want my friend Stephanie to be the person who talks with my financial advisor and stockbroker. And so you can absolutely clearly delineate. And then you can say for anything other than those two areas, then I'm going to have Stephen be the person who takes care of everything else that's not real estate and not the stocks and financial advisor work.
Absolutely. As I've mentioned before, Brent is very, very passionate about educating everyone. He does this, we're here on a Sunday and he's here dedicating his time to educating everyone. We love doing this. We love passing down information. And what Brent does is not easy. Even though he loves it and it's easy for him to understand and everything, this is exactly why we love teaming up and educating everybody. He's very passionate, as I mentioned. What he does is not emotionally easy either. There's a lot that goes with this. So we're very fortunate to have someone like Brent educating us all and letting us know what really happens, right? In terms of powers of attorney, if you have any other questions, Brent is more than happy to answer any questions, set up a consultation with him, and he's more than happy to answer any further questions you have.
Absolutely. Consultations are always free. And I really do believe that what you need and what you want is not necessarily the same as what your neighbors have. So please be careful when talking with friends and family and neighbors because it's not the same across the board. And if you'd like to talk more, feel free to call my office. The number is 253-285-7751. Tell my assistant that you saw this video, and I'm more than happy to talk with you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Have a great day.